I was supposed to have a live stream with Ryan Stone, but he had some prior engagements, so I didn't see that he canceled it. So I didn't want to let you guys down, so I decided, hey, let's just do a live stream anyway, and we can talk about some stuff here. So, so what a lot of you are probably wondering about is my 100-mile race. I was gonna do a video on it, but I might as well just talk about it on the live stream here. And yeah, so basically, I've been training for this thing for almost a year. I ran about 1,700 miles training for this. What's up, Tata? So yeah, I trained hard. It was crazy. I did a 50 miler, did that in about 8.5 hours. And for you guys that don't know, I'm about 230 pounds. So doing ultra running is definitely something that is difficult at my size. See some of you guys pouring in here. What's up, Christopher? I see BB here. Are you muted? No, you're not muted. I see you. And yeah, so Tata says it's amazing stream yesterday. Yeah, thank you. It was pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. It's pretty cool to talk to someone who is pretty unfiltered like myself. So Anthony then Tech, what's up, man? How you doing? So looks like I need to try harder. All right. Niab. So yeah, so anyway, with the running with the 100-mile race, I went up to Flagstaff to train at elevation 7,000 feet for a month. I was up there for a month, and the whole time I was up there, well, the plan was the race was supposed to be from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon. So that was the reason for training up in elevation, was because I needed to adjust to it. So I went up there a month early. It definitely was expensive going up there and everything. So what ended up happening was that the race got canceled. And so I decided to go ahead and try and run the 100 miles myself when I got back to San Diego. A couple of shout outs here. Let me see here. Thought Terminator T800. Nice name. I like it. Simple Coder. What's up, man? LS. What's up? C Pogson. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Extra Credit Muscle. What's up, brother? All right. Rid M. What's up, guys? So what ended up happening was I came back to San Diego, and on Friday tried to do the run on Saturday, planned it at like 6:00 at night to avoid the 4 hottest hours of the day, because it's about a 20-mile or 20-hour run. And about within the first 5 miles of it, I didn't feel like, I felt like things were off. My heart rate was high. I was like 150, and I was running really slow pace. And I kind of knew that, something was wrong there. And I think what happened was, I think it was just a combination of things. I think that when I went up to Flagstaff to train, that because of elevation, I couldn't run as far. So I didn't get as much miles in. Like my coach had scaled back the miles, and it took a big hit on me, especially doing a lot of the just training at elevation with my size, and then doing a lot of the uphill and mountainous terrain. And so I think my fatigue actually increased more than my fitness. So yeah, so I think that's what ended up happening. And then, by the time I got back, just like the taper, I wasn't feeling it, and it was hot and humid. And so I don't know exactly what it was, but there was no way, I should have been able to run 20, 30 miles without feeling it at all and feeling good. And within the first like 5 miles, I was feeling like shit. And so what I ended up doing was running 32 miles, and then I called it. I pretty much knew I was going to have to call it after the first lap that I had ran, like 16 miles, just because it was not just happening at that time. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Is it kind of sucks. Like I put so much work into this, but at the same time, I did every single workout besides one. I think I injured my foot one day, and I wasn't able to do one of my workouts. But aside from that, I did every single workout, everything that my coach had prescribed. And yeah, sometimes it just sucks. Like, something with a 100-mile race is that, you got to have all the elements lined up correctly. And, there's definitely some learnings, like if I did this again, then I think I could improve it. But yeah, it sucks. Definitely was disappointed. Definitely was was a big hit for me after doing all this training. But I think what I'm going to do now is take some time off from running and just, spend more time working on business, working on other stuff, getting into the gym more, lifting more, working on that, working on physique more instead of running. I never really liked running, but this was my goal for the year. And so that's why I spent so much time doing that. So anyway, that is it. So for you guys that are wondering. All right, so let me see here. I think what we'll probably do is I'll answer a couple of questions here, and we can talk about some stuff. I'm gonna go back through let's see, Simple Coder. What's up, brother? He says, what do you do to recover from your runs? I'm 27, your height, and like 10 pounds smaller, and legs are killing me after I run. I mean, I don't do anything special. The thing is, the more that you run, the better your recovery will be eventually, right? Like you just have to build up your endurance, right? So long, slow runs. It's going to be much harder to recover from running at higher heart rates. You just got to run at low heart rate, just very slow pace, and put a lot of mileage in and build up that mileage over time. At my peak, I was getting to around 80 mile weeks, 80 something mile weeks. And, that's kind of where you got to get really to get those big improvements if you're going to do ultra running or you're going to really kill it on a marathon. So, I think you see big improvements once you start to hit 50 mile weeks. And then when you get, higher up there, that's like, I don't have any knee problems, anything like that. All that went away when I started running a lot more distance, but you got to do a lot of long, slow runs. So that's, that's pretty much how it goes. So, all right, let's see here. Got a super chat here from Thought Terminator T800. Hey, John, new to the channel. Do you do OMAD diet during your training for marathons and stuff for the most part? So I did OMAD for all my marathon training. I did OMAD for my 50-mile training, but I stopped doing it at the 100-mile training for a couple of reasons. One was because around that time also I was getting extremely lean. I was, well below 10%. I was like more like 9 to 8% body fat. And also just with the caloric requirements of running like 15, 20-mile runs, what ended up happening was I believe I was reaching kind of the max fat loss. I did a video on this talking about OMAD and why I quit doing OMAD. And there's, scientific reason behind this, which is that the max amount of fat loss that you can accrue is about 31 calories per pound of body weight per day. And so I was, generally exceeding that. And a good example of this is my buddy Connor Murphy. He did a 40-day fast, and he did not get super lean from that. I mean, he got lean, but after 40 days of not eating at all, you'd think he'd be totally shredded, which he wasn't, right? Because he lost muscle, because there's a max rate of fat loss. And what was happening was that any extra calories that he was burning in that time, it have to come from somewhere. It came from muscle. And so, I think that's just an example of that, is like, if you really want to get super shredded, you have to eat, right? You cannot be in such a deficit. And so that's kind of why I stopped doing the OMAD, was because I saw that happening, and I saw that I was getting stuck there. And also it was just not, my main goal was to train for this 100 and to optimize for that. And so, so I'll probably go back to OMAD at some point. What I might try for a little while I'm stopped running is hitting the gym a lot more and not doing OMAD, but basically only eating protein in the morning, and then at dinner time eating more carbohydrates and fats, but basically eating very, very high protein to see how that works. I think that's probably going to be optimal for gaining muscle at this point, but we'll see how this works out. I'll probably switch back to OMAD eventually after that, because I think the benefits of it are really good. But yeah, so anyway, hopefully that answers your question there. Let me see here, guys. What else we got here? All right. I got some interesting questions. When is the Grant Cardone interview coming up? He invited me out to Miami to do an interview with him and for his channel and for my channel a couple of years back, but I was super busy. I never really had the time to go out there. I don't know. We'll see. At some point, maybe I'll do it. But yeah, it just hasn't been on high on my priority right now. I'd really like to get like David Goggins on. I've been working on that for a long time. So, but we'll see. Let me see. See, Pogson says, if you had to shed fat in 2 weeks, what would be the best method you'd use? I would do like 2 weeks. I would probably do like 3-day fasts, maybe 2-day fasts, and then I would walk a lot in the evening, right? Walk on an incline for about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then trying to think if there's anything else I would do. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I would do if I had to do that. And then, you could use diuretics to flush out the water, water, basically water pills if you're looking for a photo shoot or something like that. But trying to lose a lot of fat in 2 weeks is usually not going to be good. It's going to be better to extend that over a longer period of time. But that's what I would do if I were like trying to do that ultimately. So, all right. Let me see what you guys got here. Is watching porno healthy? No, it's not healthy at all. It's not good, I think, because it's a crutch, guys. Like, you shouldn't be doing something that is going to prevent. Here's the reason why. Like, again, I'm not against. I had like a porn star on my channel, and I was talking to him about it. Like, I don't have any problem from a morality perspective. Like, I'm never going to preach you guys morals. I'm not going to do it. Everyone has some sense of morals, but I'm never going to preach it, because I'm going to preach pragmatism, right? Practicality to you, because that's the way to actually appeal to people. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Everything else is subjective, but the practicality and pragmatism is objective. So as far as porno, like, the reason why it's so bad is because if you're having your needs met at a lower level, you're not going to do what is required to have them met at a higher level, right? So think about this, right? So if you could not watch porn or masturbate, if you banned yourself from that, then a lot of you guys that have no success with women, you'd have to figure out how to go and do that, right? You'd have to figure out, you'd basically get the urge to go out and talk to women, as scared as you are, because you've got to figure out some way to solve that problem, right? That you have. And so that's why I'm against it for most of you guys. Now, for guys that are able to be successful, the answer for that is that, how do you fucking have time to watch porn? Like, you shouldn't even have time. You should be so busy with your life and with girls and all these things that you don't have time for it. So that's why I think in general it's not healthy. It's just not. It's not going to help you achieve anything that you want to achieve in life. There's no purpose to it. It's only going to make you weaker, right? So don't do things that make you weaker. All right, let's see. We got a super chat here. Trash economist, $20. Thank you. Yeah, he says, "Go dogs, nice mic. Are using OBS?" I'm not using OBS right now. I have OBS. I use it for actually recording all my videos that I publish on the channel through my camera. I just set it up and record on there. But right now I'm using StreamYard. StreamYard is pretty awesome for doing this type of content and having other people jump into the live stream. So I like that, especially because I can put up the little comments on the screen. I like that. So I've used OBS for sure for doing live streams. The only problem with it is that it's harder to get multiple people on the stream. So, but yeah, appreciate the super chat there. All right. Let me see what you guys have here. Some interesting questions. This one, don't you burn muscle too when you're lifting and doing marathons too? Not really. As long as you're lifting heavy and you're eating enough protein, you're not gonna have a problem with that. I mean, I've been running marathons for the last 5 years. Okay. And so, I mean, I'm maintaining a pretty big physique for my size, right? For 6'3", I'm like 230 pounds. So it's a pretty lean and ripped physique. So, if that were true, then yeah, then you would see that. And you can see it through my YouTube videos over the last 5 years. And you can ask the question, right? Am I burning up muscle? Obviously not, right? But it's because I'm continuing to lift heavy. And even in the last month, I haven't lifted at all. And I've still retained most of my muscle. So I'm going to get back into lifting now. No, I'm done with this 100-mile, bullshit. But yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. Most guys, like if you're running 20, 30 miles a week, don't even fucking worry about it. It's just a lame excuse people give to not have to, put in the effort, because cardio sucks. So, all right, let me see what we got here. Kevin says, just listen to Soft Skills Developer audio on Morning Run. Good stuff. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Kevin. Let's see. Does semen retention give you more energy? I don't know. I don't buy into a lot of the semen retention bullshit. And the reason why is this is like, it's like I tell guys at the gym, right? Because people are always like, oh, should I do like these Bosu ball and like all this weird kind of shit? And I'm like, look, here's what you do. Look around the gym and look for the biggest guy at the gym. All right. The physiques that you want to have, and see what they're doing. Are they doing some weird TRX shit? Are they doing some kind of calisthenics bullshit? No, they're lifting heavy weights. They're lifting like Arnold would lift. All right. So it's the same thing with semen retention. Is like all the guys I see that are preaching semen retention on YouTube, I don't want to be like those incel guys. All right. No offense, but most of those guys are fucking pussies, and they're not the kind of guy that I aspire to be. So whatever you want to be like, just fucking emulate that person, right? That's the best way. And so, when I look at the semen retention guys, like I don't need to even look at the science or anything like that. I just need to look at the person who's doing it and see how it's working for them and what kind of person they are. And, for the most part, I haven't seen any fucking, straight up alpha male that's doing semen retention and could attribute it to that. So again, I could be wrong, but and maybe there's some benefits to it, but even if there are, they're going to be minor, right? Those are going to like those are the things that you don't need to focus on, like, because most of you guys, you need to focus on actually like building your life, like building your physique, getting over your fucking fear of women, and building a good bulldog mindset instead of worrying about stupid shit like semen retention. That's just just a waste of your fucking energy. Sure, maybe it'll give you like a 1 or 2% boost in testosterone or whatever it is, or overall, but go and tackle the low hanging fruit first before you start to try and do something like that everyone's always looking for shortcuts. That's a problem. It's like people are doing that to look for some kind of shortcuts. They don't have to actually put in the work in life. So, all right. I guess I should fucking answer this, because there's, do you take steroids or creatine? No, I don't take steroids. Creatine, yes, but I'm not taking creatine right now. Creatine is good. It's effective. Steroids are effective as well, but you're gonna have, like, what's the purpose? Like, what you can achieve a world-class physique without steroids. TRT is a different thing. I am on TRT now. I wasn't for longest time. I've actually got a video coming out talking about that, so I'm not going to go into too much details there. But the reason why I ended up having to get on TRT was because of high SHBG levels. But I was able to achieve a top tier physique well before I ever got onto TRT, and you can too. So I had extremely high SHBG levels. I think a lot of it was from the fasting and then the ultra running. So I think that affected it quite a bit, and that affected a lot of things like libido and stuff like that. And so at some point I was like, you know what, it's just not worth, it's not worth living the life like this. So I decided to go ahead and do that. But again, I've got a video coming out, and it'll show you exactly like how my physique has progressed over time without it. You know, I'm 40 now, so it's a little bit different than a lot of you guys that are in your 20s or early 30s asking me about TRT. I would not recommend it for unless you need it, right? Unless you're at the point where it's a quality of life thing. So I'd recommend like looking at more plates, more dates, like Derek's content on there to really understand all this shit, because he really has a good grasp on it. So, okay. All right, let's see. We got a super chat here from Ridall. He says, let's say you're considering an LTR with a girl. What N count, number of guys she slept with, disqualifies her as an LTR? I think that's an interesting question. Okay. So I don't think I would give you like a number, because I don't think it makes sense to judge a person in that way, right? We should really judge a person by who they are now, not by their past. And a lot of times their past influences who they are, for the positive or the negative. So I wouldn't really use this as a qualification, right? I mean, it's I know a lot of guys like, and I do believe that definitely the more of the count that she has, the more potential for being damaged that she is, or having problems, like the more hardened, is what I was talking about yesterday, that she could become. But you just got to look at where she is now, and the biggest thing is like this, and I tell guys this all the time, is what you need to look at is whether or not she treats you like a king. That's going to be the biggest factor in LTR. That's going to matter more than anything else, right? Because the other things, the beauty factor, you're going to get bored of that. It's going to fade over time, and it's not going to matter as much. But whether she treats you like a king or not, that's going to matter in the long term. That's the thing I'd be evaluating her on, right? I mean, if you're getting an honest, like, think of it this way, right? So it's almost like this. Like, if you're with a girl that you're considering getting into an LTR with, and she has a very high lay count, and she's telling you this, that's a pretty high degree of honesty, right? Like, I mean, another girl that has a lower lay count, she might just be being dishonest with you. So how are you even going to know what is true or not, right? So are you going to disqualify? Let's say you've got two girls, right? One has they both have a lay count of, let's say, 30, okay, which is, I think, fairly high, right? So what are you going to, so one girl says that her lay count's 30, okay, and the other one says that it's 5. Which one is actually better to get into an LTR with, right? Probably the one that says that it's 30, right? Because they both have 30, but at least one of them, what you're getting, and she's being honest with you. So yeah, I just wouldn't judge based on that. Again, I'm not saying that's not destructive for women to have a higher lay count. I think it is, but at the same time, you got to judge based on how she's treating you. That's the primary factor you should be looking at more than anything else, because that's what's going to influence your life more than anything, right? If anything I've learned in life, that's it. So that's what I would look at. I know a lot of guys in the red pill community like to, whatever, and make a big thing about it. But sometimes it could be good. Sometimes I think a girl can be more experienced, and that could be a good thing. In general, it's probably a bad thing, but I wouldn't disqualify anyone based on that. It's kind of silly. It's kind of, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because like I said, the biggest factor also is that you're just not going to know. You're not going to know what the actual number is. And so someone being honest with you and treating you like a king is probably a better option than someone who's dishonest with you and treats you like shit, right? So yeah. And the other thing I would say is, like, again, if you're looking at an LTR, I hope you're at least in your 30s, because I would not recommend it in your 20s for sure. I would recommend that you wait until you have more experience and you actually have a higher count, so that you can be a better judge of character and to know what you want. So, all right, let me see here. We got here. Okay. Me Fawn 499 says, bought a domain from Bluehost, but having a hard time building the site because WordPress is not exactly drag and drop. Any advice? Well, it's true. It's not drag and drop, but there's plenty of tutorials online on how to set up WordPress. The best thing to do is to just buy a theme. I mean, there's other themes you can just get for free, but if you find a good theme, and then, I mean, there's not a lot that you have to do to set up a blog, right? You could hire someone to help you on Fiverr. I'm sure you could find someone to design things. Like, it depends on where you want to go with this, right? How sophisticated. But start with simple, right? Just a simple basic theme if you're doing a blog is totally fine. And right, like, the content is going to be most important. At some point when you're making money, when you're further down the path, then maybe you hire a designer to design the theme or your layout in Photoshop, and then you hire someone to implement it, like a WordPress developer, to actually implement it into WordPress and create a custom theme for you. But that's further down the road. That's when you're making money. Like, too many guys are too worried about making the LLC and doing all the legal and tax stuff, and they're not actually making money. Like, make money first. Every time that I coach someone on business building, I'm always like, okay, let's make money first. Like, because if you're not making money, then all the other shit is just a waste of time. So all right, that's some good advice here. Elementor, it is drag and drop, so that's some pretty good advice. Let's see here. Let's see what Eddie says here. He says, I think semen retention forces guys to occupy themselves with more important things. Plus, it makes sex better when you have real sex. Nothing impresses a girl like giving her the ever. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, it does. It's good that you're occupying yourself with more important things. But I would have to disagree with you, Eddie. I think that if you're doing semen retention, you're gonna blow your load really fucking fast. When you actually have sex. So, the first time is probably not going to be so great in that respect. I mean, if you practice it like tantric, whatever, then yeah, you can get to the point of being like a fucking yogi master of semen retention. But I don't know how much that is like worth. There's so much better endeavors to focus on in life, so I don't know about that. Could you interview Lewis Ross? Yeah, I like Lewis. He has a YouTube channel and provides great thoughts on real estate technology. Yeah, I like that dude. Yeah, I think I'll invite him sometime to jump on the channel. I'm sure that he would. He's a pretty awesome guy. I like him. So, back from my tech days when I was doing more of the simple programmer content, I used to watch a lot of his stuff and stuff. So, yeah. Let me see. I might actually end this live stream pretty soon. I should probably be getting some work done. I need to catch up on stuff. It's more fun to do live streams than to do real hard work. So I got to post some Instagram. I haven't done that this week. Normally I have my Instagrams all queued up for the week, and I haven't started on that. So let's see. Let me see if I can pick out any other good questions. If you guys want me to answer your questions, if you do a super chat, definitely I will get to it. It's funny. Mike Tyson was on semen retention. I think that's funny though, because Mike Tyson was also on cocaine and a bunch of other drugs. So I'm not going to give that too much credibility. It's so funny that so many people are so obsessed about the semen retention thing. Why? I don't know. Why do you guys think that is? It's like, I feel like it's because it's something that you can do easily because you don't have the option of not doing it. I guess, I mean, I guess maybe the no fap thing. And it's like giving you a false sense of accomplishment because you haven't actually done anything. What you've done is not do something. And that's fine. I think there's some element of discipline to it, but I'd rather see you guys going out and getting laid and going and talking to girls and overcoming that fear than simply, not ejaculating. Like that's there's you don't get a prize for that in my mind, right? That's I don't know. To me, it's like it's not really an accomplishment. It's something that it's a tool that you could use, to better yourself in some way, but it's not something that you should necessarily be proud of, right? It's almost like anything that you do and like you brag about, like it becomes your identity and you become proud of it. I feel like is detrimental to you as opposed to uh, you know as opposed to something that you do purely for your own development, right? So if you got to brag about it and you think that it's it makes you awesome, then I'm not so sure about that. So let's see. Mifun says I'm doing e-commerce, a twist on a stock photo website. Yeah, I think there's themes that would allow you to do that for sure. Just look at some of the themes. Just search for WordPress themes, and there's themes that allow that. I mean, if you're gonna make it so that you can purchase things like directly from your website, like stock photos, then what you want to do is probably download WooCommerce. WooCommerce will allow you to create basically a e-commerce site in your WordPress site. So let's see. So yeah, so the reason why I took TRT was because of high SHBG, right? So my SHBG was like 160. The reference range, I think, maxes out at 50. And again, I think a lot of that was just due to just the extreme, just the extreme I was putting my body through with doing the fasting and doing ultra running and lifting at the same time. So, I believe that it probably caused a huge cortisol spike and really fuck things up. So yeah, so that was a primary reason. And then along with that, I mean, there were definitely, symptoms of low libido, low motivation, things like that. And so, I tried naturally to raise the TRT, but I didn't really want to give up the lifestyle of running hard and pushing myself to the extreme. And so, I said, okay, well, let me try TRT and see what happens. It lowered the SHBG down to where I needed to be, and I felt better. And so I said, at this point, like again, my philosophy in life is begin in pragmatism, end in pragmatism. Okay, as much as I'm against any kind of crutches or anything like that, pragmatically, I like there was no benefit. Like there's only an ego benefit for me in not going on TRT at that point, right? At my age, with the symptoms I was experiencing, quality of life, taking that into consideration, it made sense in that case. And some people say, oh, you're copping out or whatever, and that's fine. Like I totally get that perspective, and I would have preferred to completely be natural and not be on TRT, but it's my life, and I'm thinking like, for the next 10 years, from my 40s to 50, range, I could live like a lower quality of life, have low libido, and be suffering from this, the higher SHBG, or I could stop my running and and have the ego pride of saying, okay, well, I'm completely 100% natural. I've never touched anything that was unnatural. Or I can make the choice and say, you know what, pragmatically, like I'd rather just have the higher quality of life. I don't care if some people hate on that and are upset about it. It's fine, because I know what I've achieved naturally. I've achieved a physique that's, in the top 1% naturally with nothing. And I've been able to do all this stuff. And so, like I don't really care. Like I'm gonna make the choice that makes the most sense for me. So that's why I did it. So again, you could debate it either way. I think there's pretty valid reasons to say, hey, John, that was a bad choice, but I think there's pretty valid reasons to say it was a good choice. But what ultimately it comes down to was it was my choice, right? And there's going to be some things that I regret about it, and there's going to be some things that I'm glad I did, in regards to it. So that's how life is. You just have to make your own choice, right? That's the key. So, but yeah, good that you guys are asking this. some interesting questions here. So this is an interesting one. So the Genius Dog says, should we be masculine with our homies the same way we do with our girl? There shouldn't really be, you shouldn't be like playing any kind of game in the sense that it should just be who you are, right? As you develop as a man, you'll just become more masculine in general, and you won't need to really consciously think about this. Now, you know, if you're trying to like put up false masculinity in any respect, it's going to get seen through, whether it be with your homies or with your girl. You just have to actually become masculine. And the way that you're going to do that is by facing hard challenges in life. And I've got some videos on how to be a man and going through that process of initiation, so I won't go over all the details here, but yeah, the thing is, like, I will say this though, is that the guys that you're around, right, like your close group of guy friends, those are the places where you can be more vulnerable, I'd say, and to be more open, in the sense that, like, women will always abhor weakness, right? Like being weak. Your girl is not the shoulder that you cry on, right? It's you're the shoulder that she cries on, but it doesn't work both ways, right? Guys that are trying to find that are going to be sorely disappointed. But where you do have that camaraderie and you have guys that understand is your close group of guy friends. That's where you share things that maybe you wouldn't share, like some insecurities or weaknesses that you have, and you can be lifted up. And that's where, us as men, have to band together and help each other to have that support system. I think that is important. I think most guys have it backwards, and what they try to do is they try to create a false sense of bravado in front of other men, and that's that's negative, because they never form really good relationships, because there's always too much competitive and not really actually having a brotherhood. I think that's important. And then with women that they're involved with, they try to have this sort of like equal relationship where they spill their feelings and they are weak and show their vulnerabilities, and women despise that in general. So you need to be strong for the world, and then within your close group of guy friends, that's where you can have some vulnerabilities and have that support system. I think that's the way to operate. So all right. I don't know what this is all about the winning the genetic lottery, but Jim Rayner says win the genetic oh, tips to grow to 6'3". I see what it is. So I'm 6'3". I didn't do anything to get 6'3". Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, sure. There's gonna be, like, life isn't fucking fair, right? I mean, it's definitely better to be 6'3". I'm 6'3" than it is to be shorter, but that doesn't mean shit. Like, you still have to step up and be the man. Like, it doesn't, it's great to have some advantages in life, but sometimes it's not, right? Some advantages end up being disadvantages because you rely on them too much and you don't have to do the work, and people will overcome you by doing the work. So again, what can you do, right? You're dealt the hand that you're dealt, and then you have to deal with it. You have to make the most of it, right? So many guys are so set on bitching and complaining instead of actually making the most of it, and that's a problem. So you got what you got, right? So do what you can with what you got. That's how you should judge yourself, and that's how you should evaluate whether you've done a good job or not in life. Is what have you done, right? So many guys, I think I see the reason why I'm it's a victim mindset. It's like you have a raw deal, and then you bitch and complain about it instead of actually making the most of it, right? Like, you're going to have disadvantages, right? You're going to have things that are not fair in life. Life is not meant to be fair, but you have to fucking overcome that shit and do the best that you can. And that's how you should be evaluating yourself, right? Not based on what, comparing yourself to other people, right? Ultimately, like, it's going to be a battle, and you're going to win or lose, and there is that element to it. But when you look at yourself and what you can do, you can only do the best that you can do. And if you're not doing the best that you can do, then you're not gonna be able to be proud of yourself, even if you win, right? I mean, have you ever had one of those false victories where you've beaten an opponent, but it was like luck? You know what I mean? It's like you didn't really win, you didn't really feel like you earned that. And so even though you get the title, right? Even though you get the prize, even though they give you the medal, you're like, yeah, it just doesn't feel the same, right? As if you actually earned the victory. So, it's like I only want what's mine. I only want what I've earned. I think that's an important way to live your life. And so if you think about things that way, then the genetic lottery doesn't fucking matter, right? Because that's just the character that you rolled up, right? But what matters is what you did with that. That's the key. So let's see what Jim says. He says, exactly. I've definitely had girls that liked how tall I was, but I'm also awkward and I lack game. And I think height does not make up for that, at least in my instance. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, to some degree, you're going to be judged by what you appear, and you might be judged. You'll have a higher standard to live up to. And so, just being tall or just being good looking, guys, is not that doesn't seal the deal. You gotta be able to stand up to that image. You have to actually be able to measure up and be confident. You have to learn game. Learning game, I think, is one of the most important things for you guys. I know so many of you guys are so resistant to learning game, but if you learn game, it'll change your life. It'll open up doors for you that weren't there before, not just with women, but with men in business and everything in life. Learning game is a way of life, and that's the key. It's about like figuring out how to get what you want, and yeah, and that's the key, right? If you learn that skill set, it'll be valuable in every area of your life. So let's see. Martin says, I'm approaching 50 girls a week, roughly a third giving me their number and seem very on. Why is non-responding or they flaking? So here's a couple of things, Martin. I was talking about this on the live stream last night, so I'm not going to go like too much into details here, but here's the thing. So it's good that you're doing 50 a week. A number doesn't mean shit. All right. So stop thinking about numbers. Start thinking about like Insta dates or spending time with them. Like a number, it really doesn't mean anything. Like a number is easy to get. I could go out and close 90% numbers. That's no problem for me to do 90%. It'll be easy. Okay. Because if once you know how to get it, then it's not hard, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're actually going to close or actually have success. So one thing I would recommend is that you go out without your phone at all and you don't get any numbers, and your whole goal is like, you got to make shit happen now or never, right? So you're not relying on numbers thinking that you could text them or call them later. That's one thing I'd say. The other thing about this is that there's just going to be a certain amount of flakiness, but you can reduce that flakiness with a couple of things. So one thing is that when you go out and you do get a number, like don't put her number in your phone. Instead, grab her phone, like say, hey, give me your phone. And then type your number into her phone and actually message yourself from her phone and be like, hey, what's up hotness, or what's up stud, right? And then now you've got, and even take a picture, right? Go put your arm around her and be like, with her phone, like take a picture, send it to yourself of the two of you. That's going to reduce the flake rate by a large degree. Okay. And then also you can playfully respond back and say, hey, I just met you. I don't know, like you're scaring me a little bit here or whatever. You can just be playful and funny back, and that'll create a memorable interaction. She's much more likely to respond to a guy that has done that and to continue on. Other thing you can do is, like, when you're getting a number, like, it should be a purpose for it. So don't just like say, hey, what's your number? Or give me your number, or do you want to give me your number? Instead, like, set up a thing, like an activity or a date, and talk about that ahead of time. Say, oh yeah, on Wednesday, let's go and do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to take you here. We're going to go hiking, whatever it is. And then, you plan out this thing. And then if you do it right, then she will basically say, oh, let me give you my number, or you're going to need my number, or if she doesn't prompt that, then you can say, what's the best way to get in touch with you, or what's the best way to contact you, or whatever. And then she's going to volunteer, and she's going to say, oh, let me give you my number. That's going to be much better, and it's going to reduce the flake rate. And then the other thing here is that you need to spend more time after getting the number. Like, if you're just running in there and you're like, okay, I got the number, all right, thank you, it's like transactional, and then you're disappearing, then what's going to happen is that she's not going to like think of that as serious. Like, maybe she's just giving you the number to get rid of you. But if you talk to her afterwards, have a conversation, stay another 2 or 3 minutes, it shows that you're not just like some guy that's just running in there, getting the number, thinking that it's that's it, and then fleeing home to mommy, right? You got to actually have balls, actually stick around, like be comfortable around, like, because a lot of guys, what a lot of you guys are doing is you're doing openings, right? You're opening, and you're going, it's like you're going into battle, and you're putting on your helmet, and you're like, got your gun, and you're like, okay, I'm going in and I'm charging, all right? And then you go in, and then you're like, okay, all right, blah 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 blah, give me the number. Okay, you got the number, and then you're like, all right, we're out. And you're pulling the eject, you're pushing the eject button, and you're ejecting out of the plane. And so what you have to do is you have to get in there and be in the heat of the battle and be comfortable there. That's what's going to show real confidence, and actually going to help you with these interactions. Whereas if you're just going in and going out, I mean, it takes some balls to do it for sure, but it's not quite the same as when you're just like, you're actually trying to have an interaction, right? You're not just trying to get something, right? It's going to be very needy if you're coming in with the idea of getting a number. You should be coming in with the idea of getting to know this girl, of building some attraction, of staying with her as long as you can, not just trying to get in and get out, right? That's why it's like, okay, hey, what are you doing right now? Hey, why don't we go over to Starbucks? Why don't you come with me? I'm gonna get a coffee. Come with me. I'll we'll chat a little bit, or let's go. What do you fuck your friends? Like, that's it. Like, let's ditch them. Let's go on an adventure. We want to go on an adventure today, right? Like do some stuff like that, and you're gonna have a lot more success rather than thinking transactionally. I'm just trying to get the numbers. Does that make sense, Martin? Hopefully that helps you. So I'm not even charging you a super chat for that. I should really do a call-in number here on this. So let me see here what we got here. Oh, here's a good one. I think this is worth answering here, which is the Genius Dog says, does being masculine frame mean smile less? By the way, guys, hit the like button if you would do me a favor. YouTube algorithm, I hate to, like, I don't really give a fuck, but it'll help to get more viewers and more viewers on the live stream, I guess. So he says, does being masculine frame mean smile less? I smile while having a conversation and people take me less seriously. I don't think so at all. In fact, there's a couple things that, and I've heard this, right? It's like the whole like monkey smiling, showing their teeth, and it's like a sign of submission. I used to think that was true, but everything that I've seen from empirical evidence proves otherwise. I'll tell you why. So first of all, if you go onto dating apps, okay, like Tinder, Bumble, and you go with your photos on there, I've done this for myself. I've done this for a lot of coaching clients that I have, where we've gone and improved their Tinder profiles to the point where they're getting like 10x more matches. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I can certainly help you. I've done this quite a few times now with pretty good results. But what we've done is we've optimized the photos using, photo filler, and then I've got some photo guys that can make some slight tweaks to photos, like lighting and stuff, like photo retouching. And what you would think would be the best photos, right? So for example, for me, when I've tested this out, photos of me ripped, six-pack abs, the hot smoldering look on the face, right? Like, the sexy eyes, bedroom eyes type of thing, versus smiling and eating some food. Smiling wins, right? Smiling wins. And it wins on all of the attributes, everything from attractiveness to trustworthy to intelligence. And so I mean, ultimately, like you're going to get more dates on dating apps if you have good smiling pictures. That's just how it works. Okay. So, I've seen that. And then also, just from my own personal experience, like when, if I'm paid a compliment by a female, most of the time, like 90% of the time, the compliment is, I love your smile, right? That's what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, some of it is like, yeah, you have nice arms, six pack, whatever, but and there's probably some element of that they're just not saying, but when you look at just the straight facts, it comes down to smiles so much. So I don't think that that is a consideration. But the question is like, why are you smiling? That's what you need to look at, right? And this is where it can be weak. Is a lot of times you may be smiling because of insecurity or because you're trying to build comfort, right? So what I would say is that you need to develop the ability to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So here's a good thing that I give to a lot of my coaching clients when we're doing like Vegas, nights out, and I'm doing one-on-one coaching with them, is I'll tell them, I'll be like, okay, and I'll show them, I'll go up to a girl and I'll be like, and I'll just like, hey, I'll get her attention, and then I'll just, when she stops, I'll just stand in front of her and I'll just do that, right? Because I'm just creating an uncomfortable silence, right? See, I'm not smiling, I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm just okay with, all right, just making eye contact this whole time. Start doing that exercise. It doesn't even have to be to women. You can do this to guys as well, right? Coworker, just be like, right, until they say something, they're like, dude, you're weirding me out. What's going on here? And then you're still like, maybe not the if you really want to weird people out, I mean, you just like whatever, do some weird shit. Okay. But the whole point of that exercise is just to get you comfortable when other people are uncomfortable. And if you can do that, and if you can remain in discomfort, what will happen is that you won't have that, because a lot of times when we're smiling, right, it's like we're trying to break tension, right? That's what the smile is. It's like, hey, I'm harmless. I'm just, whatever. Or we laugh at ourselves, or we laugh like, right? And it's not funny, right? So you have to be able to have gravitas, right? And then I think that your smile and your laugh is more genuine because it's not forced. It's something that you're doing. It's not coming from a place of discomfort. It's coming from a place of I'm a carefree spirit, and I'm just having a good time. I'm just loving life. That's the genuine smile, and you can see it even in my face, like the difference between the forced smile and the genuine. I'm just just loving life. It can't get better than this. What what I mean? Like that's an attractive, charismatic smile that's going to draw people to you. So that's what I would look. I wouldn't try and just be like fucking cold and serious all the time, but at the same time, like don't be a fucking joker, right? That's the key is that balance there. So, all right, that makes sense, guys. Let me see. I'm gonna get to some super chats here. If you guys want me to get to your question, I guess we're getting a lot more questions here. By the way, hit the like button if you don't mind, and I'm gonna get to the super chats first. I may come back to some of your questions. If you guys really want your questions answered, do a super chat so that I see it here. So okay. So Shonen Spirit Beast, thank you. He says, been working on applying the advice from BDMM. That's a Bulldog Mindset membership. By the way, there's a link down below if you guys want to join for $7. It is a hell of a fucking deal. I'll tell you that. We've got about 750 members in there right now. The Kanban flows and your Pomodoro hack, seeing a lot of improvements. Really appreciate the help, John. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you just reaching out and saying that. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, definitely join the membership. Like I said, $7. You're not going to regret it. Trust me. There's going to be a lot of value in there. There's some stuff also that I can't talk about here on YouTube. Things like choking. we'll say that. We'll leave it at that. But some bedroom stuff that will make you dominant in the bedroom. That I've got some videos on that and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see here. Martin says, thanks for the answer. We'll try and annoy you again if that doesn't work. All right. Well, I appreciate that. It'll work. You know, you can take it one step at a time and you'll get there. Eddie, Daniel says, what do you think of giving out your number and letting them do the chasing instead? I think it implies high value and saves time. You know, this is okay. I don't want to knock any of the guys that talk about this. I know one person who I highly respect in particular who talks about this, but I have to say I have a different opinion on this. Giving out your number, there's just so many reasons why this is unlikely to work for you. I mean, if a girl has super high interest and she's super aggressive and she's not very shy, giving out your number could work. Okay. But it's in general, it's just a bad idea. So again, what's my philosophy? What do I say all the time? Begin in pragmatism, end in pragmatism, right? So if you were just to, you know, Eddie, if you just went out, okay, and you were doing cold approaches, right? And let's say like Martin, you're talking to 50 girls a week. Okay. So, you know, let's say we had 3 things you could do. Okay. 3 potential strategies you could employ. One strategy would be to do choosing signals. So only talk to girls that were giving you signals already. Okay. You probably wouldn't hit 50 at that point, right? Let's say the same amount of effort, same amount of time that you're going to spend. Maybe it'd only be like 5 girls. I'm being pretty optimistic that 5 girls would be giving you choosing signals, but let's say that. Okay. So that's strategy 1. Okay. Strategy 2 would be that you give out your number. You have a business card. Hey, babe, here you go. Here's my number. Give me a call. Right. Okay. And you do that with all your approaches. And then strategy 3 would be the advice I was given to Martin, where it's like, okay, you're building up a good conversation with her. You're basically getting her to ask you to get her number, and you're putting your number into her phone and texting yourself and taking a picture with her, and then staying a little bit longer in the conversation. And some of these things aren't mutually exclusive, right? You could do some of that technique. Well, let's say that you're doing the only difference is the things that actually matter in this case, whether you're doing choosing signals or you're giving her your number or you're getting her number. Let's say that everything else is equal. Honestly, which do you think would yield the most and best results, right? From a pragmatic viewpoint, right? You know, I have to say that it's going to be the third one, right? Like, you know, it's going to be much more likely because you're following up with the leads, right? If she just has your number, you can't follow up. Fuck. If you have her number, you can fucking burn the shit to the ground. I know a lot of guys are like, see, pragmatism is so important. I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of times I go with my coaching clients. Okay. We'll go out to a club in Las Vegas and one of my clients will get like 3 or 4 numbers or something like that. Okay. And then it's the end of the night and, you know, shit wasn't happening. So I'm like, all right, you got your numbers? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, start texting them. And he's like, oh, isn't that going to be needy? Like I already texted these girls and they didn't respond to me. Like, am I going to double text them? And then I'm like, yeah, you're going to fucking double text them. Well, like you're never going to see these girls again. So just fucking burn it to the ground. Right. So, you know, so they're like, oh, it feels needy. It feels beta. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if it feels beta or not. We're talking about pragmatism. Like, do you want to get laid tonight? So fucking text them. It's a Hail Mary, maybe. I mean, but okay. So they text and maybe like 1 responds out of 4. Fine. Okay. So then I'm like, all right. So what's next? I'll tell you what's next. Fucking call them. Call them on the phone. Like, whoa, they haven't even responded to my text. I already double text them. Well, why am I gonna call them on the phone? Because because we're talking pragmatic here. Like, do you want to get late? Like, you're never gonna see these girls again. It doesn't fucking matter if they think you're needy or not. Like, it's a Hail Mary, sure, but sometimes this is gonna, you see what I'm saying? Like pragmatism, right? Too many of you guys are caught up in thinking about what's needy or not. You see, needy is like your internal state. It has nothing to do with your actions, right? You could double text, you could triple text, it doesn't fucking matter. Like it's all about like whether or not you feel desperate enough that you need to have this one girl, one particular girl, you have this one itis or not, right? You have to be pragmatic as possible, right? Fuck, you might as well text her until she fucking blocks you. I'm not saying to be like a dick and to be like one of those, stalker dudes, but I'm just saying, like, you might as well keep on trying. And maybe on the 5th time, she's like, well, fuck, all right, fine, whatever. Or like something else fell through for her and she's like, okay, I'll text this guy back or whatever it is. Like, that's what you got to do, man. It's like, you have to be pragmatic. And so that's why when you ask me, like, is it more effective to like give a girl a number and it's more high value? It might be more high value. I don't know. Fuck, who knows? All right. Or maybe it's more high value to only like to look for choosing singles and I really could not give a fuck if it's more high value. I'm telling you the advice that's actually going to get you laid, that's actually going to be more pragmatic, that's actually going to get you results. That's what you're after ultimately, is results. And so, a lot of guys can preach all this kind of shit, and I would even agree with them. But like, yeah, that sounds more high value. That sounds more alpha to me. That's fine. That sounds more alpha. But there's a difference between sounds more alpha and is more alpha, right? Because ultimately, right, if you were to say who's the most alpha male, it's the guy that does what he wants and gets what he wants. And see, the part of the equation that's important is the gets what he wants. Okay, so if you feel like texting her, fucking text her. Like, if you're not getting what you want, you can be as alpha as you as fuck as whatever you think you are, and people can look at you and say, oh, that guy's fucking alpha. But if you're not getting what you want, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. It's the same thing, and we could transfer this over to money. People are like, oh, whatever, like this business tactic or whatever, or you're being a fucking shill, or you're being a sellout. Well, I don't know. What are you trying to do? Trying to get paid? Because you're trying to get paid. You got to sell shit to people. Okay. You got to do marketing. You got to fucking send them a lot of emails to buy your shit, and you got to believe in your shit, and you got to say, click down below and buy the fucking Bulldog Mindset membership, right? That's what I'm telling you right now. Go do it. Okay. But if I don't do this, then I'm like, okay, well, it's low value for me to like try and sell you my fucking membership. Oh, you're a millionaire. You shouldn't be trying to make any more money. You don't need to make like $7 for me or whatever. Fuck that shit. The reason why I'm a millionaire, the reason why I'm successful in all the areas of my life, is because I'm willing to do the shit that other people aren't willing. Because I don't have any fucking pride in the sense that I think I'm too high above or too high value to do this kind of shit. I do what's effective. Okay. Everything I do is based on what's effective. It's not based on what makes me feel the best or what makes me the most high value or alpha or any of that bullshit. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? When I look at my fucking bank account and I see the money in it, when I look at, my success in relationships, that like, it's all about the actions that I take. It's not about the perception, right? So you can be a perception guy or you can be an action guy. You got to choose. So again, like I said, my opinion, giving out your number to girls, it might work. It might be high value. It might be alpha as fuck. Okay. But it's not going to be as effective. And, I would like to see anyone that argues the other side of that to show me how that's going to be more effective, or doing choosing signals is going to be more effective. It's just not going to be more effective. So that makes sense, guys. Give me a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Give me a 2 if you disagree, if you think I'm full of shit about this, because I want to see where you guys are standing here. 1 if you agree, 2 if you think I'm full of shit. $500. That's it. Yes, that's it. Let's see what you guys say here. See how many 1s and 2s we got in the chat here. All right. Let me see if I got all the super chats so far. I think that. All right, we got some 1s coming in here. Looks like it's mostly 1s. All right, so you guys are pretty much in agreement with this. We got a 3 from D Money. I don't know what he's smoking over there, but yeah. So 1 and 2 depends on the context. I don't know. I think it's going to be like, I maybe there's some kind of context where you be. I'll give you this. Jim. If you're in a very small bar, like where there's not very many options, and that'd be the only place where I'd be like, okay, if there's like maybe like 3 girls, like you're gonna have to plan it out a little bit better, right? But So maybe like choosing signals or something could make more sense there, like just waiting for the right opportunity and not just going in and burning the place down. I could give it to you there, but for the most part in life in general, yeah, it's gonna be more pragmatic to just go and fucking spam cold approach and get the numbers and follow up on those numbers as hard as you can. So let me see what this is. I'll give you $7, a 6-pack of beer, your choice, a pack of smokes, and an arm wrestling challenge for a TGAT membership. I don't know what a TGAT membership is, but that's a pretty good offer. I don't know how to I don't know if I could turn that down. You know, especially 6-pack of beer and a pack of smokes. That's a good time right there. All right, let me see here. let's address this, shall we? Then I've got some super chats. Appreciate you guys coming up with the super chats here. I have a question for you and hope you could help. Lots of girls at my university are staring and smiling at me while I'm passing them in class. What's a typical careful move to get to know the girl? Well, I mean, you should just say, "Hey, what are you looking at? What are you smiling at? Like, you see something you like?" That's it. I mean, that's some ballsy. Try it. Like, if you think that's really what's happening, try it. See what happens. But here's what I would say is that a lot of times, okay, if you think this is what's happening, then just start, like, as soon as you see a girl that is staring or smiling at you, even before she is, right? Just, go and approach the girl and just say, "Hey, how's it going? Like, what are you up to right now? What class are you going to? And just introduce yourself. Just say, hey, right? Just start talking to her and see what happens. Okay. Because what you're probably going to find is that we tend to have these like delusions in our mind where we perceive things. So I've heard it said, and I agree with it, that guys think that women are more attracted to them than they are, and women miss signals from guys, think that guys are not as attracted to them as they are. And so test it out, right? Because I hear guys all the time that are, especially guys that are talking about choosing signals. Oh yeah, girls are always checking me out or whatever. And girls always say I'm so handsome and attractive, but I can never like get with the girl. A girl will crawl through broken glass to fuck you if she wants to. So if that's the case, then test it. Just go talk to him. Right. That's the thing. It's like, how are you going to know? Because what you'll probably find is that your perception of how attractive you are to women is not quite accurate when you actually test it, which is, I'm not trying to knock you or trying to discourage you in any way. I'm just saying go and test it and go see what happens, and then go see how much you actually have to learn and why you actually have to learn game. Because a lot of guys think that, oh, if girls are just looking at them or are attracted to them, that they don't need to learn game. Couldn't be further from the truth. There's so much more to it than just physical appearance as far as attracting women. And that's kind of the easy part for the most part, right? Like beyond that is much harder. So go and try it. Go and actually have the balls. Like, you should be talking to all of these girls. Any girl is smiling at you and staring at you, you should be going up to her. Like, that should be an instant, like your feet should just start moving that direction as soon as you see that. That's like a signal. If you're talking about choosing signals, then you need to jump on that and you need to just go and move your feet in that direction and talk to her immediately. That should be your train. All of you guys, that should be your default, is that when you see this, that's how you should act. So, all right, let me see here. See, even the females in the group voted one for that, right? She even agrees that this is that's how you do it. Just, it's pragmatic. Fuck, guys. All right, Max with the $4.99 super chat, asking nothing, just giving money because he's getting value. Appreciate you, Max. All right, let me see here. All right, we got a super chat from Martin again. He says, what is the actual structure and content of BDM? Is it a mentoring program? Are there paths and levels? Is there a competition between members? Tell more. So So here's what I'll say about it. So again, you can check it out. Just click down below in the description, $7 to go try it out and find out. I mean, heck, it would cost you less money to just go and try it out and see. But I'll tell you what it is. So the way I structured it is this. I just wanted to set you up for success. So every week I rotate through 4 topics. Mindset, okay? And then we go into fitness, and then finance, like investing, and then dating, relationships, game, right? Those are kind of the 4 topics. So I do have a custom video on each one of those topics in depth, usually with a mind map, stuff that I wouldn't really do on YouTube, really kind of in depth, how to build a business, how to invest in real estate, how to pick up girls, how to escalate physically with females on a date, right? Things like that. And my exact diet programs, like all the kind of stuff that's very, very detailed, that just wouldn't perform well on YouTube or would get banned from YouTube. And then I've got book summaries in there of the best books. I've got the big thing is like the Facebook and the Discord server, where we have, like, that's a community. Like you guys can ask questions, get to know each other, build friendships, like brotherhood. Here's the key. Like, this is one of the things that I talk about with Bulldog Mindset membership, is like the way to become a strong man is to be around strong men. So that's why I created it, is so you can be around strong men. And when you're around those guys that are actually fucking doing the shit, that are building their businesses, that are actually going out and doing real cold approach, that are actually getting laid, that are actually, building their physiques, then that will inspire you to do it. Okay. And you'll have people you can ask questions to. You'll have, like, being in that environment is what's key. Like, whatever environment you are in, that's what you'll become. So there's more in there. I've got a Strava group. I do a monthly Q&A live stream where you can get on video like we're doing here, but you can get actually on video and ask me questions. And I'm trying to think what other features. There's a lot of stuff. Just go to the sales page, just click the link below, and you can see everything. You can see the modules. It's just getting better and better, because every week there's new content that gets added to the library, and you've got all that content. So yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, Martin. But yeah, I would just recommend that you guys go check it out if you haven't already. You're not going to regret it. I mean, the cost is pretty damn small for that. I offer like one-on-one coaching and stuff like that as well. That's a different thing, but I think Bulldog Mindset membership for most of you guys is going to be sufficient, and is going to greatly improve your life. Like, like I said, it's all the stuff. Like, I'm not holding anything back. I'm giving you all the secrets that I know in life and everything that I've learned in there. And really the biggest thing is honestly the community, like being around people who are, kicking ass and achieving things in life. That's, that's so important. So, all right, let me see here. Yo, what's up, Fresh Prince CEO? Guys, go check out Fresh Prince's channel. He's kicking ass. Him and Myron Gaines been enjoying getting on live streams with them. And yeah, let's see. We got some more super chats here. All right, Rashid says, new Bulldog member, it's worth it. Appreciate that. Yeah, and welcome, brother. Welcome to the pack here. So, let me see. All right, Max says, if one is serious-minded and stern in their approach to life, and their temperament isn't me trying to be more lighthearted and charismatic in social situations being phony, how can I reconcile? So, okay, I kind of get what you're asking here. So you're saying, like, if you're serious-minded and stern in your approach to life, if that's like your temperament, and if you're trying to be more lighthearted and charismatic, isn't that being phony? So to some degree, yes, but also no, right? I mean, you're dynamic. People are dynamic. And sometimes, just like some people, what they'll do is, in social situations where they're uncomfortable, they'll laugh and they'll smile too much. Okay. Because they're trying to make light of things, because they're trying to reduce tension, and they're not comfortable being uncomfortable. But other people will be real serious, okay, and stern in order to deal with uncomfortable situations, because they're afraid of showing emotions. They're afraid of looking stupid, and sometimes that is a defense. So what is best is to be dynamic and to be balanced, right? And really, there's no reason why you should be so serious minded and stern in your approach to life. Like, life is a fucking joke. It's a game. It's a dance. It's not like, don't take life and take yourself so seriously, right? So you got to relax. You got to let go of shit, right? If you're taking everything so seriously, you're not going to be a fun guy. Remember, here's one thing I think is really important, and you can test this. Okay, next time that you have a girl that you're with, you can test this. Just tell her this phrase. She's like, just tell her, just be like, hey, you know what I know about girls, and she'll be like, what? Like, no, you know what I know, like the secret to girls. I'll tell you the secret to girls right now, and she'll be curious about that. And you say, girls just want to have fun. And they will always agree with you because that's the truth. Okay, so learn that. So you can't be this like serious guy all the time, and it's not going to be attractive. Like, you got to be fun. You got to be charismatic. So that means that you just got to have fun sometimes. So you can practice this because you're fucking goofy, right? I mean, I know that you talk to yourself in the fucking mirror and you make faces in the mirror. Okay, I know that you do. All right. I know that you, like, when you're by yourself, you say goofy shit and you talk out loud sometimes, or do random weird shit. All right. You have that part of you. Again, I'm not saying to like walk around and be goofy in social situations. What I'm saying is that you got to be more fun. You got to let loose and allow yourself to be fun. That's what girls want to have fun. Okay. People want to have fun. They don't want someone who's like serious all the time. Now, there are times for gravitas and being serious, right? When it's time to like get down to business, to get shit done, right? In the heat of a moment, right? Those like that, to have that passion and to be serious and to like, to not laugh at those situations. But it's a balance. It's about being free, right? The more free you are, the more charismatic you're going to be, right? Which means that you're not acting silly in order to relieve tension, but you're not acting serious all the time also to like present a serious image, or because you can't take life as a joke, right? So you got to find that balance, and you don't want to be the joker, you don't want to be the clown, but at the same time, you've got that element to you. Everyone has it. Like, no one is like completely totally serious, right? You just have to let go. You figure out, why are you being so serious? That's what I would say. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about that, and don't worry about being phony. Like, too many of you guys are worried about being phony. There's no such thing as being phony. There's no such thing as being phony. There's only being what you want to be. Okay, it's not phony to be what you want to be at that time. That there's nothing phony about it, right? Heck, even if you're playing a role as an actor, that's one of the things I talk to guys all the time, is like, pretend to be the person who you want to be and start playing that role, just like you're an actor. Just do that, and you'll eventually become that role. There's nothing wrong with that. That will like train you in that way. So don't worry about being phony or being yourself or any of that kind of bullshit. Like, you can just be whatever the fuck that you want. It's not phony if you decide that you want to be that way and you start acting that way. What's phony is when you have these doubts about it. When you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be acting like this, or I shouldn't be this way. That's when it becomes funny. But if you decide, hey, I want to act like this, I want to be this way, it's not funny. Don't worry about it. Don't too much concern about being phony. Bullshit. All right. I do the radio announcer voice when I'm alone. Cool. Batman is completely, totally serious, but he's insane. That's true. Oh, I love Hans Scholl. Hans is one of my favorite haters. See, here's the thing about Hans. All right. So Hans is racist, of course. And Hans doesn't believe that I'm a multimillionaire. He doesn't believe anything about what I'm saying. Even though I've got my QuickBooks, you can look at all my shit. But I'll tell you what Hans does believe in. Hans believes in watching every single one of my videos and commenting on them, and letting the world know what a fraud I am. So I appreciate you, Hans. It's good to be in the presence of one of my greatest haters. So yeah, I appreciate that you've stuck along for this long, and that, you watch all my videos. I appreciate that. So, yeah, just keep doing your thing, man. And eventually you're going to uncover the fraud, the big conspiracy, all the shit that I'm lying about in my life. And then, eventually everyone will unsubscribe from my YouTube channel, and they'll recognize the work that you've done. So I appreciate you, man. Big, fist bump to you. And yeah, take care, brother. All right. So let's see. What do we got? All right. Well, I have a super chat. So the super chat is going to take precedence. Aaron Alexander with $5 Canadian, a couple of loonies and toonies. He says, "Hey John, what are your thoughts on marriage and kids later in life?" So I would say that, I mean, it's a choice that you have to make. I don't think there's an easy answer to to any of this, because you gotta decide what is going to be best for you. And I mean, whatever you choose, it's not going to be. There's no optimal road, right? I recommend all guys read Neil Strauss's book, The Truth. It's called Truth. Just so you can kind of see what the predicament is, right? I mean, if you go into a solo, like, monogamous relationship with kids and whatnot, you're going to be missing out on some things in life. You're going to be getting some things that you wouldn't get. And if you go the other road and you don't do any of that, you're going to be missing out on perhaps, maybe having that family, or enjoying those things that you want to have in life. So there's not gonna, like, either way, you're going to make some kind of sacrifice or trade off, or you can try and balance both, which is hard. And there's guys that do it. You can look at different various models. I would look at guys like Mr. Lucario, who's doing something similar of balancing both. I think Steve Williams, Steve the Dean is doing something similar, or Donovan Sharp. And so you can look at guys like that and see, and decide if you want to have their lives or not. But yeah, there's no really good answer for this. I can't give you. I would say, though, that if you're going to go down this road later in life, is probably better, because you're going to have more experience, you're going to have more selection. But whatever you choose, it's going to suck. And I don't mean this like in a negative, pessimistic way. I mean, your life can be great, but what I mean is that, like, there's going to be parts that suck. It's like you're going to be giving up something, or you're going to be taking a serious risk in some way. But that's what life is. Life is figuring this shit out and deciding. Just make sure you've got enough experience and knowledge to make good choices. Use a lot of the red pill knowledge that's out here. Go talk to the MGTOW guys. As much as I dislike their take on life and their defeatist and victim mindset attitude, a lot of them, they could probably give you some pretty good knowledge on preparation, on understanding the risks of marriage, right? Maybe they'll scare you a little bit too much, but their numbers and their stats and their information on that is probably pretty decent. Like, I would pay attention to that stuff, just so you know what you're getting into, and you can prepare yourself as much as possible. I think someone to talk to also and to look at is Richard from Entrepreneurs and Cars, because he has direct experience with this, and in the fallout from it. So he could probably give you some, like, his men's community is probably a good place to look at, to see, talk to guys in there. So anyway, that's what I would say. So let's see. All right. Let me see what the rich programmer says here. I don't know why someone's spamming the 48 laws of dating. I'll just let one of those messages go through. It must be pretty shitty if you got to fucking spam it, like, into a chat. So Rich Programmer says, is being in love in a meaningful relationship worth it? I struck gold in my relationship, but what about sex with lots of women? Like I said, it's a trade-off. You could possibly have both. It's a dangerous road to walk, but It's possible. So yeah, you know, you gotta make some choices. This is why life is tough, right? Especially here's the thing: is like when you have choices, because see, most guys don't have choices in life, so they don't really like they entertain this idea, but they don't really have to face this. It's only when you actually have choices in life, when you actually like have the ability to have, let's say, sex with lots of women, that that this really comes into play. Most guys, it's like, they marry the first girl that they have sex with, or that shows them any attention, and then that's just how their life is. They didn't really have any other choice, and they fantasize about having other choices and say, "Oh, did I make the right choice?" But they didn't have a choice. Like you can't have, there's this illusion of choice. That's why, again, like who was I talking to? I think on the live stream last night, Mr. Lucario was saying, like, you should spend some time, you should become a player, right? It's like, why? Or no, Tate was saying that yesterday on the live stream. And the reason why is like, because if you become a playboy first, then you'll have choices, and then you can make a choice, right? Otherwise you're just forced into a choice, and then you think that you have this illusion of thinking you have choice. If you ever seen the movie, like, was it Hall Pass or whatever? Like the premise of that movie is like, some guy gets a hall pass from his wife for a weekend or a week or whatever, and he can't even fucking use it. So it's like, I think a lot of you guys are like in the situation where you could get a hall pass, you couldn't even fucking use it. So it doesn't matter. You don't have a fucking choice. So, just, but if you are willing to work and to build up, it takes a lot to be able to get to the point where you actually have a choice. Then it becomes a predicament. Then it's a difficult problem to face. But for most guys, they don't really have to face that. So what I would say is this: is like, if you don't actually have the choice, then don't beat yourself up over a choice that you don't have, right? Because a lot of guys that are in a long-term relationship, it's not like they have the opportunity to have sex with lots of women. So you might be delusional in your head thinking that you do have it, and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I made the right choice, and then like maybe you exit this LTR and then you're just alone. Not that you can't develop the skill. I'm just saying that, like, a lot of times you may agonize over choices that you don't actually have, right? So don't agonize over choices that you don't have, right? Don't kid yourself. Like, do you really have the option? Like, could you really go out tonight and pick up some girl at a bar and bring her home with you? Like, if the answer is no, then there's no choice. There's nothing to worry about. Stop beating yourself up over. Again, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm not trying to say that you couldn't do it. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you could or not. But that's kind of something I would keep in mind there. So uh hey Chris, what's up, brother? Go check out Chris's channel, by the way. He's got a lot of good content on there. Uh, yeah, the run, I talked about at the beginning of the live stream, if you want to go to the beginning of the live stream, but it didn't go well. It was a combination of bad things that happened, and I ended up going 32 miles and calling it. But yeah, kind of disappointing. But I did everything I could. I trained as hard as I possibly could, and everything. So let's see here. I'm like trying to catch up on the chat. Again, if you guys want me to hit your questions here, if you want to do a super chat, I will definitely get to it. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon here. All right. This is very true advice. Being a millionaire can make your life easier, but it's not going to make you happy. It's very true. Always pay 1 hour consult with the divorce. That's not a bad piece of advice. I like that. The one who says 30 is only being honest about having 30, but is leaving out the extra 30. Yeah, that might be true. But again, I don't know. What are you going to judge people on their past or who they are now? You know, it's a dangerous precedent if we judge people on their past. The past can inform us what people are likely to do in the future, but it is not it's not a guarantee. So Rich Cooper has some of my favorite content. Love the guy. Yeah, Rich Cooper is awesome. He is a smart guy. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He's got a lot of great content, and he's been successful in business. So he's a guy who actually like walks the walk, not just talks some shit. So, all right, catching up here. Oh, I suppose I'll answer this one. Genius Dog says, when you approach, is there a right moment to ask, want to hang out sometimes? Okay, first of all, don't ask questions like want to hang out sometimes. That's not a good plan. All right. So instead, what you should be doing is you should be talking about things that you're going to do. And then you should basically be saying, hey, I'm going to go and do this. Excuse me. I'm going to go and do this. Why don't you come with me? Or why don't you come along? Or, come with me such and such night. Like, don't ask in this like if she wants to. Instead, you basically tell her and then let her like decline it, if that makes sense. I know it sounds like almost the same thing, but there's a subtle difference here. But the difference is in the sense that like like almost like if I were to say to you, hey, do you want to get dinner with me tonight? Or if I said, so where are we going for dinner tonight? You got any preferences? So are you cool with this? Are you cool with that? Right. So that's again, that's still asking to some degree, but it's asking a different question. It's assuming the close. So you have to assume that the girl does want to hang out with him. She's talking with you, right? And you're working into the conversation. So there's not like a right moment. It's more of that at some point that you just say, I mean, you should be setting this up, right? What's the purpose of the conversation, right? You're having this conversation. Where are you going to with this, right? In fact, it should be right now, right? That should be your default. Is like, let's go and grab a drink over here. Let's go to Starbucks, right? If it's during the day, or, come with me. I'm going to grab a drink at the bar. Why don't you accompany me? Any of those things that's what you should be setting that up, right? So that you can ask about that, or even just the poll, like in the middle of the night, like, hey, after this, I was thinking about, going, and I was going to grab some food. You should come with me if you can behave. We'll see. I don't know if you're cool enough yet, or whatever. Whatever you can. It doesn't have to even be that. You just have to like set it up so that you can later on tell her about that. So, yeah. So don't think of it as like want to hang out sometimes. I don't think it's a very timid way. Instead, you should just be assuming it, and then you should just be making the plans, right? So same thing, like again, if you're asking for a phone number, don't be like, hey, can I get your phone number? As if you're taking something. It should be like, all right, so let me what's your number again? Or like, here, let me see your phone. I'll put in my number, whatever, and then we'll see, like it's an automatic type of thing where you're assuming the close, as opposed to you're asking, and then you could be rejected in that case. So I hope that makes some sense to you. All right. Eric says, I endorse Rich Cooper in all rules, zero streams, and I'm a Bulldog Mindset member. I recommend to join. Yeah. And guys, don't worry about the bullshit of like, whatever of guys drama and gossip and shit. I it doesn't I'm not gonna participate in any of that shit. So other guys in the manosphere or whatever can have drama and have shit. They can even have shit with me. I don't care. I'm still like, I don't care if guys that I recommend and think that they have good content, if they have shit with me, I don't care. Like, I'm still gonna recommend their shit. I'm just gonna say I'm more about attacking ideas rather than people. So I'm not gonna play along with that game. Again, not knocking anyone. I'm just saying I'm not playing into that. I'm not taking side. I'm on my side. I'm not on Team Rule Zero. I'm on Team 21 Convention. I'm not on Team anything. I'm on Team Bulldog Mindset. I'm on my fucking team, on John's team. That's what I do. So let's see. Yeah, that was cold approach, what I was talking about. So yeah. All right, guys. Oh, hey. Got I see Antonio from Real Men Real Style. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. He says, I have shit with you, John. My son wants your build, not mine. Haha. Appreciate you, man. Guys, if you haven't checked out Antonio's channel, he's the OG of men's style. He's got a huge channel with I don't even know how many million subscribers now, but go check him out. Real Men Real Style. He's got great advice for you guys, especially you need to get your fashion right. And yeah, so he yeah, go check him out, Antonio at Real Men Real Style. Appreciate you, brother. He said after Menfluential, he wanted your diet. Yeah, cool. That was a cool conference. I enjoyed Menfluential right before the lockdown. It was good that we got that in and didn't get canceled. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, Antonio. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, guys, go check out Antonio's channel for sure. Like he's the real OG. He's been doing this longer than most of us here. So all right, guys, let me see. I think I am going to actually bow out here and get some food. I'll give you, if you guys want to ask any more questions, if you want to do a super chat, I'll give you maybe like one or two more if you guys want to jump in here. Otherwise, I'm pretty much going to call it. And yeah, hopefully I'll have some good. I've got some good interviews for this week, by the way. If you guys want to check it out, let me see here. Actually, what I have on Friday night, I haven't set up the live stream yet, but Friday night at 4:30 Pacific time, I am going to have LFA on here. I've been wanting to have LFA on here for a while. So LFA will be jumping on. We'll be doing a live stream. So mark your calendars for 4:30 on Friday, Pacific time. And yeah, if you want to ask LFA some questions, that'll be a pretty cool live stream, I think. So I've been looking forward to doing that. So, all right, guys. Last call here. If you want to get in super chat to get your question answered. Otherwise, I'm gonna bow out and I'm gonna start getting some work done. Got to play some catch up. I'm gonna be at 21 Convention next week. If you guys want to go, if you want to get tickets, I'll put up the link here. By the way, if you want to meet me in person, it should be bulldogmindset.com/21. Make sure that link works. But yeah, if you want to buy tickets, go do that, and you'll get to see me in person. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. I still have to come up with my talk for it, but it should be a good time. All right, guys, that's it. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.